Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here, thanks for watching. Going to focus on the forecast for the short term on this forecast because interesting developments taking place this weekend. Now as always, the site's kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen, so if you see an advert you like, click on it, go through to the advertiser. That generates revenue for us and generates interest for the sponsor as well, and shows them that you're watching the site. And thanks for your continued support. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, Twitter, Facebook, any method that you can use, because things are becoming very interesting here now. The site's becoming very popular and we're starting to add stuff all the time. Just let me know what charts you want to see. Okay, so this is the prediction for London. This is the temperature chart prediction for London for the next couple of weeks, and the dates are across here along the bottom. Now these are our mild days look over the next few days, but just look what happens by the time we get through into Sunday and Monday and Tuesday of next week. We see this cold snap coming through, and then we see a gradual increase in temperature next week, going back to nearer normal levels. Now if we take a look at the charts, you'll notice we've got quite an interesting set of developments that are taking place. This is the GEM forecast for overnight Sunday into Monday. Now normally if you saw a dartboard low like this on a chart at this sort of range, you think to yourself as a forecaster, well, that's nice to see, but it's not going to happen, it's far too deep, and it kind of tends to get ignored. But then if you see it occur on another chart such as this one, this is from the sorry, not that one, such as this one from the ECMWF for the same time. When I can get the chart up for you, there we are. Suddenly your ears start to prick up. You notice it and you think, I wonder if. Now if this did happen, this would bring some pretty heavy rain on Sunday night to Monday. That rain would turn to sleet and eventually turn to snow as well over high ground, and some strong winds too, and certainly would introduce colder conditions. Now I think this is probably overdone. I don't think that's going to happen in such a way, but I do think low pressure could be there, and certainly I think we're going to be turning colder, a brief cold snap into the beginning of next week. But I stress, this is not going to be an Arctic outbreak. Yes, there could be sleet and snow on the hills, particularly across southern and southeastern England, but don't panic, this is not winter returning. It's just a 2 or 3 day cold snap before temperatures start to pick up once again. So some quite interesting developments taking place there. So how does it shape up then for the coming days in terms of where we go with rainfall? I know this is getting critical now for many of you. This is from the ensemble model, which looks about right to me at the moment. The date and time is up here in the top right hand corner. We'll go through in 12-hour steps. So that's today with high pressure down towards the south. Notice how most of the country is dry. Overnight tonight we're dry, and then into tomorrow we find bits and pieces of drizzle for northern and western Scotland, but for most of us, look, it is going to be staying generally dry. On to Friday now, when the high pressure is in control again. A southeasterly flow, broken cloud and dry through Friday, sunny spells and staying fairly mild too. And then into the weekend, well, more persistent rain edges into the west look through Saturday. On Saturday afternoon that spreads to all places, although I still think the Midlands, southern and southeast England are likely to be generally dry. Most of the rain across western Scotland and western Ireland. Into Sunday, and we find a front dragging eastwards. That could bring some outbreaks of rain to many of us. And then don't forget that position overnight into Monday morning. Here's where the low was on the Canadian and also on the ECMWF charts. A deep low, you'll remember, was centered in there. Now notice the ensemble hasn't got it. I think this is going to be somewhere in between the two. I think there will be an area of low pressure here that could bring some sleet and snow showers across high ground of southern and southeastern England later in the day. Later in the night on Sunday into Monday. But I don't think it's going to be anything particularly dramatic apart from noticing the temperatures fall. Then into Monday itself, I think, yes, a colder day across eastern and southern parts of England. Bits and pieces of rain affecting the west of the country, northern and western parts of Scotland. But it's down here in the southeast where I think we'll notice the difference in terms of temperature. And then into Tuesday, well, still we've got low pressure look down towards the south. That brings a northeasterly flow again across East Anglia, southeast and southern England, and I think once again we're going to be cold there with the risk of 1 or 2 showers, perhaps turning wintry over the high ground. For the north and the west though, for Scotland, northern England, Wales, western parts of England and Ireland, it looks as if it should be a generally dry day. And then we see temperatures picking up as we get through in towards Wednesday as the westerly flow starts to return. You'll notice then that we see more unsettled conditions coming into northern and western Scotland and Ireland. This flow look turning more westerly all the time as we get into the following weekend and into the week after next, and this looks reasonable to me to expect the flow to become more westerly, outbreaks of rain to affect mainly northern and western areas, and we could find some bits and pieces of rain down towards the south too. So I think we will go more unsettled, but we're still focusing on dry weather down towards the south, breezy and more unsettled conditions towards the north and the west, but never drastically disturbed and never drastically unsettled, and temperatures probably hovering around normal as we get into the middle part of March. So I hope that's been useful for you. Do keep the sun shining, and thanks again for watching. Don't forget the adverts are there. Do click on them if you see one you like. It generates revenue for us and shows the sponsor that you're interested in what we're doing. And please do continue to spread the word about the forecast. I've got even more charts to add on for you over the coming days, so keep an eye out there, and of course I'll alert you via email and through the messages too. Thanks again for watching, and keep the sun shining.